Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here. So in today's video, we'll be going over 5 players that were standouts during the Washington Commanders training camp first week. I'll show you guys some highlights from practice and a bunch of other stuff. If you guys are new, subscribe, hit that like button, notification bell as well, and comment whatever you want. That's all I ask. It's free, takes a few seconds, and it really does help out the algorithm a ton. So let's get right into it. The first 3 days of practice for the Commanders. I believe they do have an off day tomorrow, so no practice Saturday. They will go back to things on Sunday. And that Sunday practice will be what it is, but Tuesday will be the first day in pads, and fans will be there. I'm excited for that because I will be there, and I'll give you guys all my thoughts on what happened that day in practice. But let's get right into it. Guys that stood out for me, from what I read, from what I saw. So Tyler Owens, a guy that, got reps with the ones on the first day, and, some more. I don't know after that if he did. They didn't really specify, but had an interception today against Marcus Mariota. So he made a big play. He's been making plays, all of camp so far, and he has, he's making this team. It's just a question of what is his role. Is he going to be a starter? Is he going to be a second string guy, or is he going to be a third string guy? But it's looking like it'll be second string or better for Tyler Owens going into his second year. So that is very, very good for, the Washington Commanders and, their safety room, because, it's not like their safety room is bad. I like Quan Martin, and then Will Harris has the potential, but adding more and more guys like that helps out your potential, and you got more shots to put up, and guys that, all right, if this guy goes down, you have this guy here, or if this guy doesn't completely pan out, then you have a guy in Tyler Owens that can do stuff for you. So don't have a clip about Tyler Owens, but there is that clip of him getting beat against Deebo Samuel, and Jaden Daniels threw a perfect ball, but Tyler Owens was right there. It wasn't amazing defense, but it was good defense. It was just better offense by Jaden Daniels and Deebo Samuel. So, that is, I know some people are like, oh, he got cooked, blah, 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 but it's not that big of a deal. But Trey Amos, he has been balling out. He had a pick today off of Jaden Daniels. I'll actually pull it up in a second. But he's been balling out. He looks super fluid. The footwork's been good from what I've seen, and he just looks like a corner. He's got that swagger too. Everything you want in a CB1. So maybe he won't be, he won't be that guy this year because they still got Latimore there. But eventually he has that aura of maybe a cornerback one. So let me pull up. So here's some clips of Trey Amos running through practice here, just doing some stuff. So I'll, let you guys watch that. Maybe I'll give some comments, but it's really, just him running and doing some drills with other guys as well. All right, so there we go. Just some stuff there so you can see how he's moving and stuff. And then I'll go ahead, since I already showed you guys this clip, we won't have to go back to it. I'll go to the Commanders here because they did post the interception from Trey Amos. It is right here. The ball came right to him, but again, you like to see him make that catch. No one was really near him besides Zach Ertz. Apparently that was the interception from Jaden. It looked like a little bit of miscommunication, and he's dapping up his teammates, Bobby Wagner, everyone like that. I'll show you guys one more time, and then we'll go ahead and get into the next player. See Quan Martin there, and they got Bobby Wagner. So talking to the vet and everything, Daniel Wise. So hey, Trey Amos balling out. Honestly, I could have given it to all 3 of the cornerbacks. The next one will be one of those cornerbacks. The one who I didn't put on the list, Marshon Latimore. But Marshon Latimore has been balling out too. So, I haven't heard of any interceptions, but he's been making big plays. He's been making PBUs. He looks good. He looks like he, did a few years ago, and not the guy that we traded for last year that played right. He didn't look the same last year, and that hamstring injury was clearly bothering him. he looks like a different player right now. Looks like a different player. And, I'm excited for Marshon Latimore this year to see what he really can do for this defense. If you got Marshon Latimore on the outside, Trey Amos on the outside, and Mike Sanderson in the slot, that's a good cornerback trio, especially if Trey Amos can play well. If Trey Amos is a little bit up and down his rookie year, that's fine. Maybe they can live with that, or they can put in Jonathan Jones, who gives you a pretty high floor, maybe a lower ceiling, but it'll give you a higher floor. It'll give you a higher floor, and you'll get decent play at the cornerback position outside, and you can always, because Jonathan Jones can play both spots, inside or outside. So you could switch Sanderson to outside and Jonathan Jones inside, or just keep Jonathan Jones on the outside and keep Sanderson in the slot. But the cornerback trio is looking good. It is looking good. So the next guy on the list is Mike Sanderson. So we're starting with defense. We'll switch over to offense in a second. Mike Sanderson, I've been hearing his name almost every single day. Today he actually got an interception, but the other days he's making PBUs, making tackles. Today there was a play with Jalen Lane where apparently it was like a screen pass, and Mike Sanderson used his physicality and broke it up. So he's been balling. Mike Sanderson's been balling, and he looks like he's taken a leap from his last year, and that was already good play. He's playing more like that last half of the season, Mike Sanderson, and that was really good cornerback play. So, hopefully it continues. Mike Sanderson is a dog, and that slot spot is where a lot of people, coming out of college, thought he should play at, but we, kind of had it. We played him in the slot, and then we had to play him outside just because Forbes and St. Juice were so bad, and had Michael Davis in there too. They tried that out. It wasn't working. They put Mike Sanderson out on the outside, and he played pretty well overall. And this year, just continuing to make plays. I mean, I can see if we can find another tweet, but he's been making plays. And today had Jaden Daniels hanging out with his daughter, which is pretty cool and stuff like that. So there's a video about that. Here, there's a video of I'll do full screen just because it is really hard to see, especially because it's vertically filmed. But you got Latimore there, Sanders still. They're doing some, one-on-ones, I guess, just, shadowing each other, not really, I guess there is a ball in there, and Latimore is able to make the catch. And, hey, Sanders still used to be a receiver, so if they ever need another receiver, maybe Mike Sanders still can step in and ball out. But that right there, those are the defenders that have really balled out. Now, let's move on to the offensive players. And the obvious guy, the talk of the town, the Cam Sims of training camp. And let's hope, and I said of training camp, that's not a diss on Jakory Brooks. That means he's balling out. Let's see, though, if he can take that play from the first few days of training camp and extend it into the next week or two of training camp, of joint practices, of the preseason, and then make the roster and then take that to the regular season. I think he really does have a chance to. We're going to have to wait and see. But Jakory Brooks has been balling out so far the first few days of training camp, and that is amazing to see, because we needed a receiver to step up. And Jakory Brooks so far, he's been that guy that stepped up. So over 2 days, this was yesterday that I tweeted out, follow my Twitter, by the way, he had 3 touchdowns in 2 days. Today, I didn't hear about a touchdown, but heard that he had a couple catches or so. So he still is, doing pretty well. And yeah, Jakory Brooks balling out. He's been working with the first team, working with the second team. I don't think he's been working with the third team at all. But first team and second team. And that bodes well for his chances of making the roster. We know the first 4 receivers first 5: Terry, Debo, Noah Brown, Jalen Lane, and Luke McCaffrey are very likely to make the roster. First 3 are locks, as long as everything goes well with Terry. The other 2 would be very surprised. I mean, Jalen Lane is a lock. Luke McCaffrey is like as close to a lock as you can get. If he really, really looks bad, then maybe not. But I just can't see him not making the roster. So that's your 5. After that, if they want to keep 6, is it going to be Jakory Brooks? Is it going to be Chris Moore? Is it going to be Michael Gallup, KJ Osborne? I feel like they want to keep another veteran on the squad. But I think Jakory Brooks deserves to make it, and long term would be a better move. Maybe if that's the case and they want to keep another veteran, keep Jakory Brooks and they but they keep, Chris Moore or Michael Gallup or KJ Osborne. They also can keep those guys in the practice squad. They're not going to lose any of those guys to another team, I think. I mean, maybe KJ Osborne, but, yeah, I don't think they're going to lose anyone for, waivers or whatever if they release those guys. So they're going to be fine. I guess I can see if I can find any clips. There's not a lot of clips from Jakory Brooks, unfortunately. But we're going to have to see if we can find any. I guess here's a clip. I think this was earlier in the offseason. But, I'll let you guys see it anyways. Here it is. See him making that catch. Again, nothing too crazy. Here's one. I did make a video today with all the training camp highlights, so you guys can go ahead and watch that. I think that would be, if you want to see some more of these clips, some more of these guys doing work and more analysis from day 3 of training camp, go ahead and watch that. Posted that earlier today. But Jakory Brooks has been balling out. The standout of training camp. So shout out to him. Other guy, Jakory Merritt, he's been balling out. Been, doing some really good stuff. And I'll show you guys some clips, doing some footwork stuff with the ball, and then he ends up making a really nice one-handed catch right here on this next play. It is this play. You see that nice catch by the 7th round rookie running back. And really good stuff from him. Been hearing good stuff from him. It's hard because it is training camp and, no pads right now, and, O-line isn't able to do what they want. D-line isn't able to do what they want. So, and the guys aren't tackling like full speed. So it is what it is. We'll see what happens the more time passes and the more physical and stuff that they get. But so far the reviews have been good on the rookie running back out of Arizona and New Mexico State. And Dan Quinn said that it's a violence of the cuts, that he can get his shoulders square and get downhill fast. That kind of jumps out to him. So that's what Dan Quinn had to say about rookie running back Jakory Merritt, or Bill as he likes to be called. And Jakory has a chance. He has a chance. I mean, he's making the roster. There's almost no doubt about it. But he has a chance to be RB1 by the start of the season. Will he? I don't know. It could be B-Rob. It could be, a mix of them. But if you're playing in a deep fantasy league or dynasty, pick up Jakory just in case. Again, if it's a yearly fantasy league and it's really, really deep, like you got like 14 teams or something like that, then I would say you probably, could take a shot on him last pick. And if you have, in dynasty, I wouldn't, mind a pick as well. I think Jakory is going to be, has a chance to be a good pick there. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.